All right, what is your name?
Aubrey Inkster, Sussex Family YMCA.
Delegation?
Sussex Family YMCA.
How many years have you been in YIG?
This is my third year.
And can you give a quick explanation of your bill?
Yeah, I did a bill on psilocybin mushrooms, with psychedelic mushrooms. And basically what my bill was doing was making it legal for anyone in the state of Delaware. Originally I said 16 years, but there was an amendment change to 18 years or older to grow any amount of psilocybin mushrooms on their property and to possess any amount on their person, so long as there's no intent to sell or distribute.
What was your inspiration for this bill?
Well, originally I wanted to do a bill on marijuana decriminalization, but since that was kind of similar to last year's bill on legalization, they wouldn't let me do that. So, at first I was like, what do I want to do? But I wanted to keep it in the whole psychotropic kind of field, so I figured mushrooms would be fun. I was debating either between doing mushroom reform or LSD reform. And, they're both two similar substances, but I thought that there'd be more benefits from mushrooms. It'd make it easier to decriminalize or legalize that than LSD.
Gotcha. And why did you want it legalized?
I think that a lot of the plants listed on the Schedule 1 DEA drug list shouldn't be there in the first place. Like cannabis, psilocybin mushrooms, lysergic acid diethylamine, which is LSD. Ibogaine, which comes from this plant called the iboga plant, which is a plant from Africa that is hallucinogenic, but is also very effective in helping heroin addicts get over their heroin addiction without any forms of withdrawal. Just plants like that the government initially made illegal back in the 19th century from the beginning. Like cannabis, for example, was originally made illegal 1937 because the DuPont Chemical Company wanted to make hemp illegal so that they could start selling silicone, because if hemp hadn't been made illegal, then they wouldn't have made any profits off of silicone, or they wouldn't have made that many. There's a lot of controversy between how that went down, but basically, they paid off a few judges and a few government representatives to do a whole court thing to make that illegal. And then in the 70s, a lot of other I keep calling them drugs, but really I want to stress that they're just plants or plant extracts. They were also made illegal because people thought that that'd be like a way that other countries could mind control our nation. That and nowadays they're kept illegal more so that pharmaceutical companies can still make billions of dollars off of their cancer curing medications.
And you did mention that it's a very controversial topic. Was it ever hard for you to tackle that?
No, I think the more controversial, actually, the more it motivated me to find more and more research.
Really? That's awesome. All right, and do you have anything important that you want to say about your bill for people watching?
I have a lot of stuff on this paper. These are like the main points I try to tackle in the House and the Senate and just wherever I'm debating it. It has a lot of religious benefits, not just like many South American, Native American, and Central American religious cultures have it as a religious sacrament. There's also some research done that shows that in the Judeo-Christian religion, like Judaism and Christianity, that manna, which is what the Israelites ate in Exodus, the description of that is exactly the same as the description of the P. cubensis psilocybin mushroom, and the storing methods and all the other stuff is the exact same way. It also has a lot of medicinal values. It's very good for people suffering from really harsh OCD or post-traumatic stress disorder, as well as chronic headaches and really bad depression. And psilocybin particularly is very effective in helping alcoholics and people who, I guess you could say, tobacco addiction, not just to get over that, but get over it without any withdrawal effects, similar to the iboga plant with heroin addicts. Then the whole scientific side of it, the main chemical in the mushroom is psilocybin, which is, it's not the actual mushrooms that are illegal, but it's the compounds in, like the psilocybin and the psilocin. Its molecular structure is exactly the same to that as melatonin and dimethyltryptamine, which your body naturally produces. What else? It takes 13 grams of pure psilocybin to be considered toxic, and there's about 4 to 10 milligrams of psilocybin per mushroom. So a toxic dose would be anywhere from 1,300 mushrooms to 3,250, which by that point your stomach probably won't be able to fit that many in them. It's also 200 times less potent than LSD, which is part of the reason why I picked doing mushrooms over LSD. And you don't even need to take a large enough amount of mushrooms to have hallucinate hallucinations for it to help you with OCD and post-traumatic stress disorder. That plus, people try to tell me or they ask me if it's addictive. Physically, it's not. Psychologically, people would argue that it is, but the tolerance level that you build up just from one use of a psychedelic amount takes like a week to 2 weeks for it to wear off all the way so that you can experience those profound effects again. There's this thing called the LD50, which is lethal dose 50, which is it compares the average dose of something to what the lethal dose for like 50% of people who take it would be. So shrooms, for example, is 641, which goes to the whole 1,300 to 3,250 mushrooms. Vitamin A is 9,637. LSD is 4,816. Aspirin is 199. Nicotine is 21. Cannabis is 20,000 to 40,000. And that's just the plant. That's not the pure THC. That's different. And then certain cancer drugs are 1 to 1.5. So that's one thing. Plus, New Mexico already made it legal. I don't know how many years back, but they made it legal for you to grow your own. And in Florida, you can have small amounts of it on your person, and you won't get arrested for it. And another thing that encouraged me to do the whole bill was that there are a lot of credible sources that did studies on, like Johns Hopkins University, the Imperial College of London, Arizona University, Florida State University, a whole bunch of and their studies showed really positive effects from not just OCD and post-traumatic stress disorder, but just to mental health in general. That it's just a plant, just like a lot of other things, and I don't see why a plant should be kept illegal.
Yeah, I definitely learned a whole bunch from this. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
This was great.